Hello everyone, welcome to p3clouds.com. My name is Prabhat and in this tutorial we are going to learn about slots in LWC. So the first question is, what is slot? Okay, so as per Salesforce documentation, we use slots to pass the markup to the child component from parents component. It means if you have some markup like p tag, you can pass those markup from child component to from parent component to child component. I'll give you example how can you actually pass the markup from parent component to child component. We will see next in the videos, so be with me and watch this video till last so that I can show you how exactly the slots works in Salesforce. So there are two types of slots. One is unnamed slots and the other one is the named slot. So we will see example of both type of slots in this video. So let's start. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to the child component. So I have two components, parent component and the child component. So in the child component, I simply defined slot and I'll put some default values. Let's just don't put anything. So what I have done, I have defined a slot markup in the child component. So this markup will be called unnamed slot because there is no name assigned. So this is unnamed slot which I have created in the child component. Now what I am going to do, I'm going to pass some data to this component, child component from parent component, or you can say I'm going to pass the markup from parent component to child component. So how can you do that? The first thing we will do, we will call child component. So this is our child component, and inside the child component I'll write one p tag and date content from parent component. So this is going to pass this markup to the child component. Okay, let me save both the file and let me push it to the Salesforce. Okay, so I pushed, let me push. So let me push this to, okay, so both the components I have pushed it to the Salesforce. Now I'll go to the Salesforce, and the Salesforce I'll refresh the page. Oh, sorry. So on refresh of page, you can see here content from parent component which we passed here. So why I'm saying it is passing the markup, let's define some styling. So what I'll do, I'll make it color as red and also font size would be 60 pixel, and now I need to push it. Okay, now let me refresh it. Yeah, so you can see here we have passed complete markup with the styling as well. So this is what you can do using the slots. So now the question is, what this is unnamed slot, then question is what is named slot. So we will see next in the video. For the named slot, what we are going to do, we are going to name it. So let's say I'll name it and first name, and there are two other slots I'll create, and that it would be last name. And what I'll do, I'll include this inside the p tag, and I'll here write first name, and I'll close this p tag. Sorry, I'm going to close this p tag, and same thing I'll do for the last name as well. So it would be p tag and then last name colon and close p tag. So we have defined slots and we have named it first name and last name. So let's define one more slot, and that would be, I'll name it age. Okay, and this slot would be unnamed slot. Why it is unnamed slot? Because we haven't defined any name for this slot. So what we have done so far, first name, last name in the child component. Now what we are going to do, we are going to pass values to these slots from the parent component. So how can we do it? I'll just remove it. So I'll define a span tag. So basically we are passing the span, and I'll use slot attribute, going to use first name, and let me close the span tag, and the first name I'll just enter some name. So let's name it Pratik, and same thing I'll do for last name as well. So in slot I'll enter last name, sorry, the last name, there is no, and in the last name I'll enter Kumar. So for two slots I have entered the data, and you can say markup, which will be passed to the child component and it will display here. For age I'll simply define span, and I'll define age as 25, and I'll save it, and let's push it to Salesforce. Yeah, now go back to the Salesforce and refresh the page. So if you refresh the page, you will be able to find first name Pratik, last name Kumar, and the age is 25. The only thing which found I different, it is not showing in one name. So why it is not showing? Because actually this one is closing in between. Yeah, so let's push it again. And let's refresh the page. Yeah, so you can see here the first name is Pratik, last name is Kumar, and the age is 25. So we pass this markup from parent component to the child component. So this is how you can use slots in LWC. Thank you.